Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to Youtober, day 3. So today I have for you a little mini spooky TBR. Now, will I get through all of the books I mentioned today? Probably not. It's like, I know a lot of booktubers put 10, 15 books on their TBR. I don't know how they do it, because even the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5 I put on here, I'm like, is this realistic? Is this a realistic thing? I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. We don't know. But I have put together 5 different spooky books that I want to get through for the spooky season. They're all somewhat horror, a thriller, something that will, I'll be in my room with my covers on, maybe a candle is going, maybe one of the cats have joined me on the bed, and I'm just the whole time. So, we're going to go through the books. I kind of put them in order of how much I really want to read them. Will it continue to be in that order? I don't know. I will leave timestamps down below of each individual book. I will do also my best to describe these books, but I do like to go into a horror or a thriller or a suspense book without really knowing anything. So, also too, I should probably note, if you are a person that is easily triggered, there are places on the internet you can look up these books and you can figure out what the trigger is. So look those up if you're easily triggered. I have not. There's been 1 or 2 books in the entirety of my reading career that I've been like, whoa, that's it. So, look up trigger warnings. So let's move on to book number 1. All right, book number 1 is actually one that you guys have already seen. You saw it last video, yesterday's video. It is a book I got in my Nightworms, and this is What Moves the Dead by T. King Fisher. This is a reimagining of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. It is a really short book, so it should take no time to read. But this book is about a retired soldier, and he finds out that his childhood friend is dying. So he wants to go to where she is and, I don't know, comfort her somehow. When he arrives, what he finds is something just way too creepy. There is weird fungi growing everywhere. The animals surrounding it is just, they're not normal. So he finds out that Madeline is starting to speak in tongues. She's waking up in the middle of the night. So it's up to him and 2 doctors to figure out what is going on before the weirdness consumes them. And that is that book. It's beautiful. I said this in yesterday's video. This book is gorgeous. Edgar Allan Poe is just something that it would be super, super just delightful for the spooky season. Next on my list is a spooky haunted house story. It is The House of 100 Whispers by Graham Masterson. This will be my first time I've ever read Graham Masterson. I started to read this, I would say last year, and then I don't know what happened. There was obviously a book that caught my attention that I put this down and was like, yes. But that doesn't mean this isn't good. So, I mean, if you go on my Goodreads, you'll see that is there, and I started to read it, and I'm gonna finish it now. So we have a mansion a guy owns, he dies, and now his estranged family is ready to inherit it. So as the family gathers in this big mansion, they find out there are some really creepy happenings going on. With all these weird things happening in the house, the family decides they want to leave, but when they want to leave, they find out that one of the children have gone missing. So now they're set to try to find this missing child inside a creepy haunted house. You know, it's gonna be super creepy. It's gonna be one of those things, it's like things go bump in the night, there's going to be some creaking noises. It's gonna be a delightful read. So I'm really excited to read this, and yeah, who doesn't like a haunted house read? All right, next on the list, I am also extremely excited about because it is a Grady Hendrix book. Grady Hendrix, I just love Grady Hendrix. He wrote The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which I really loved. I'm ready to read another one, so I'm going to read my best friend's exorcism. This takes place in the 80s. We have two best friends, and they one night go skinny dipping. One of the girls starts to act really weird. She's irritable. She's just not right, and weird things start to happen whenever she's around. So the other friend, Abby, has decided that she's going to investigate what is going on. So on the back, it says, and I thought this is excellent, but it says, the fate of Abby and Gretchen will be determined by a single question. Is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? So, that's awesome. I also love, too, like, this book looks really cool. It looks like an old VHS tape, which is great. I love it. Do the kids even know what VHS tapes are anymore? My niece is 13. I say VHS, like you say things like Be Kind, Rewind, and they have no idea what you're talking about, which is really sad. It's very sad. So, excited to read this. Oh, it does. Okay, hold on. It does say on the top, this is Be Kind, Please Rewind. That's cool. I love it. I love how Grady Hendrix books, a lot of them kind of look like, I don't know. There's one called Horror Store, and it looks like not Home Depot. What's the store called? It looks like an IKEA catalog. That's what it looks like. So I like this. I'm excited to read it. I'm not doing a very good job explaining these. I'm really trying to just not go into it with no knowledge whatsoever. So I'm sorry I'm being a little vague, but you know, that's what you got to do when it comes to thrillers and horrors. All right, next on the list is one I was kind of apprehensive about putting on this list, but my friend says you have to read this, and I've heard other people say you have to read this, and that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. What I understand about this book is it's a romantic thriller. I don't know. I didn't even know that was a thing, but it's a romantic thriller. So we meet this writer, Lowen, and she has been given the task to continue writing these books by a woman named Verity. And Verity has written this successful series that she is unable to continue writing and finish because of an injury. When Lowen gets there, she has uncovered this autobiography Verity has written that nobody knows about. And Lowen has decided to keep this manuscript for herself, knowing it's just going to tear not only her husband apart, but her family as a whole. So as you can imagine, things get turned upside down, and it's gonna be a wild ride. So I'm very excited to read this. I think the premise of it is kind of spooky. It'll be a little messed up and thrillerly. Is that a word? I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited because a lot of people have loved this book. I haven't read too many negative reviews about it. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. It'll also be my first Colleen Hoover book. So hopefully, those of you that love Colleen Hoover, hopefully I'm starting out with a good one. And yeah. Verity. All right, last book, which I've had for quite a while. Also, I got it in, I think, an Unplugged book box. It was like Halloween or spooky one, and that is The Library of Dead by T.L. Huchu. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. The cover, though, is really pretty. So we follow Ropa, and Ropa has decided to drop out of school to become a ghost stalker. So she speaks to the ghost of Edinburgh to give messages away to the family members of the ghosts. All of a sudden, these ghosts start talking about a witch who is taking the souls, I think, of children and leaving them dead husks. So Ropa has decided to investigate what is going on. What she finds is a library of the dead and this occult library. And then I just want to read this little part. It says, "The Sixth Sense meets Stranger Things in the sharp contemporary fantasy, following a precarious and cynical teen as she explores the shadowy, magical underside of modern Edinburgh." So that is that book. This is probably the most fantasy driven. Yeah, I would say this is probably the most fantasy, horror, spooky driven book that I have on this list, but it will be really nice, and this is super perfect for spooky season. So that is everything. That is all of the books I hope to get through during spooky season. I know it's not a lot. It's 5 books, but again, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm a slow reader. So, what do you guys have on your list for spooky season? Have you read any of these books? If so, which one has been your favorite? That is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe. I'm making a video every day in October. You're going to want to subscribe. You're going to want to subscribe. Tomorrow I have another unboxing for you. This one's going to be the Unplugged book box, which will be great. So get ready for that. Also, there's playlist. If you've missed anything, I will continue to put it in the Youtober playlist. That way you can just keep it moving. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.